So if you're in business for any length of time, I am sure you have probably experienced having clients that ask and keep asking and keep asking and seem to run all over you and just want to take advantage and take everything from you and leave you resentful and exhausted. Hi, this is Mark Silver with Heart of Business, and these kinds of experiences really sour us on having a business because it feels like we're in a battle with people, and it's kind of terrible. And I want to give you a different perspective on this because I've worked with myself and bunches of people over the years who have had these kinds of experiences. And it's actually a little easier to solve than you think, but you got to look in a different direction. So the first thing I think to understand in these situations is that the actual number of people who want to take advantage of you, who want to steal from you, who want to actively be selfish, is actually extremely tiny. The vast majority of people that I have run into through Heart of Business have been generous and thoughtful, and they want to do what's right. But what happens is that you're helping people probably with some area that they feel vulnerable with. They feel needy, they feel stuck, and they're trying to get their needs met, right? So they're just trying to get their needs met. That's what they're trying to do. And most people, when they're newer in business, have made choices or not made choices, and just by default, have a real generosity and openness in how they run things. Their schedules don't have any set boundaries on them. Pricing is flexible in ways that don't always serve you as a business owner. And other kinds of things that may come up in business are from a place of being really open. And I say that that's appropriate because when you're new, you're just trying to get energy flowing. And if you stretch a little bit here and there, it doesn't really do a lot of harm. Like, the stretching can actually be a really healthy thing to do. However, once you've been in business for a little bit, you do need to pay attention to what your own needs are, to your boundaries around your schedule, to the bottom limits on your pricing, and these other kinds of things. So what usually happens in these situations is that a client will come in, and because we haven't, as the business owner, told them anything any differently, they just ask. They just ask. Or they just assume, or they just say, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? And we haven't told them any differently. And so really, who we're upset with is ourselves. I think that point is worth just kind of pausing and taking in. If we don't identify this correctly, if you don't identify this correctly in your own business, in your own boundaries, the natural thing that I've seen people do is create more and more defensive and hostile policies that feel, frankly, terrible from a client perspective. Very strict enforced cancellation policies, very strict enforced schedules, and because the defensiveness is there because people feel worn down by the requests that they have not set limits on, the language that comes out in that is very defensive and sometimes hostile, even just energetically, even just subtly. And it feels terrible. And it's like a young child. Imagine a young child who has never been told, no, you can't have ice cream before dinner, although sometimes you can. But you can't have ice cream before dinner. We want to eat the healthy stuff first, and had that patiently explained to them and had them supported with it. But instead, they just ask for ice cream because they like it, and then they get slammed. Like, how could you possibly do that? You're just, you're being bad. But they're not being bad. They're just asking for ice cream. It does take pausing and deepening into your own heart and finding both compassion first for yourself and the fact that, yeah, it's okay to not want to have complete openness around your schedule or to have infinite flexing on your pricing when it doesn't work for you. And once you have empathy for that, and once you understand what your own needs are and you can set those, then you can maybe see your clients with more empathy and explain these new boundaries, which might be new for them, but won't be for new clients, with kindness, with warmth, not with hostility and defensiveness. It will make such a difference in whether people want to continue working with you and whether people feel safe. Because people are happy. I find that 95+% of the time or more, people are happy respecting boundaries. They just need to understand them. So that's my wisdom for today, is to have empathy and kindness for yourself if you're going to be changing boundaries that you had not set, making them more self-caring. And then having empathy for your clients who are just trying to get the help. And then practicing communicating those boundaries with warmth and kindness and clarity, and letting go of the defensiveness and the hostility that quite naturally arises up when we're full of resentment and exhaustion. Let me know how this lands. I'm curious if there are any phrases that you're struggling with saying kindly. And I just wish the best to you and your business.